Gonna go ride an abandoned track today, but it's not just any abandoned track, which you'll find more about in a second. Probably like 10 seconds if we're being honest. Welcome to the track that I grew up on, pretty much anyways. So when I was 14, I got my first dirt bike, and Bryson, my little brother, he's 4 years younger than me, got a sport four-wheeler, and we started riding, and we would go out riding with friends and family on the weekend, but we were so into it, we wanted to keep riding throughout the week, like we couldn't wait till the weekend, you know, and we weren't really independent enough to go up to the pit, which is up the highway like 5 miles that way. We weren't really independent enough to go down to Red Hills, which is a few miles down that way out in the flat. And I'm sure our parents would have really wanted us wandering out while they were at work anyways. So we wanted to figure out how we could ride in a close proximity to our house. And our house is actually just on the other side of that hill. Took me like maybe a minute and 30 seconds to ride here from the front door. And originally, we built a track just on the other side of that fence along this hillside. If I zoom in, you can see there is where we used to have a tabletop built, and then just above it there was a little step up, and that would just circle around right there, then go back across, go down, circle around. We built that entire track with shovels, just two kids. And after like a summer of riding it, the ranchers just down here bought that piece of property and wanted to run cattle on it, and they didn't want us running on the vegetation, so we moved to the other side of the fence, which is where I'm at right now, and built another track with shovels. And this one we built a lot bigger than the first one, and we built it like a figure eight, so it goes there, back around through the right there, and just right where I'm sitting. And then right in the center of it, we had a couple little jumps. And this is pretty much where I learned the basics of hitting corners, how to hit a jump, the basics of hitting a jump, and even a little bit on wheelies. Me and Bryson spent a lot of time out here for the first few years, and it was absolutely awesome. And when we built this track, I was on a Super Mini. It was a Honda CRF 150, and it felt really good on that bike. But then, a few years later, when I got this bike, which is a big bike obviously, the track felt really small scale and just super tight. And at that point we were kind of old enough and independent. We were like, well, we'll just start riding up at the pit, we'll just start riding down at Red Hills. And so that's mostly what we did, and this place has just kind of grown over since then. Another quick little interesting fact is this track was actually reversed. So after like maybe a year or two of having this track, we decided to reverse it and turn all the step downs into step ups, and just reverse the whole track, which is the form that it's in right now. So, in honor of the first track that we pretty much grew up on, let's throw some laps in on it. There you have it. If you're wondering where a 14-year-old and a 10-year-old got the idea to build a track like this, I don't know if you've ever played MX vs. ATV, specifically MX vs. ATV Alive, but they had the little short tracks is what they'd call them, and it was just like a really small dirt bike track, just like one or two jumps and a few corners. Like, it's actually pretty fun during playing the game, so we were like, we could probably build something like this in real life. So that's what we did, and it turned out pretty cool. So that's a little pro tip if you ever get the opportunity to build your own dirt bike jumps or your own track. And that is play the MX versus ATV video games for inspiration. It works pretty good though.